Okay, we'll get going. Let's begin. So. Okay. Hi. Onegaishimasu. So we'll do a little bit of loosening off. Just start with this vertical. Yeah, let's get the whole body moving. And play a little bit with your arms. And bring them up a little bit. Just loosening everything off. And play a little bit with the head as well, looking down. Stretching up a little bit. Okay, we're going to start with the head. We'll let the feet settle down and then chin to chest. And looking up. Stretching all the way through the front. And down again. And think just as much about the back of the neck as well as kind of bringing the chin to the chest. Think about really opening the back out. And then the same here as you come up. Think about really opening the front of the neck. So, okay. Back to the center. Stretching a little bit to the left. Back to the center. Over to the right. And again to the left. And the right. Nice and gently, just let the head settle to one side. Again, think about kind of lengthening the opposite side of the neck. And the other side. And again. And again. Okay, just taking the hands, just closing a little bit down, nice and lightly. A little bit of weight on the top of the head. And I'm going to release it all the way up. Bringing the elbows up to the ceiling. Stretching all the way back. All the way down. But to close the body a little bit more, if you can bring the elbows together, maybe feel like you're closing the whole front of the body. And now open everything out. Stretch it up. Arc in the back. Pulling the elbows up. And just very, very lightly, just working circles in the front. And very gently in the back. You can work with a kind of semicircle, or you can work with a slight kind of figure of 8 movement, depending on how flexible you feel. And then just take it, this head's been in a central position, and again just go to this kind of full, very small figure of 8. Just working the whole head. Good. And then just go to the shoulders, just bring them up. Release them down, let the arms settle back. And in this case, go through 3 things. You're going to release down, and then as you come up, stretch it, close the fist, bring the shoulders up to the ears. And release down, open the hands, let the palms come to the front. Just settle the hands, settle the shoulders right down, as if the fingers are being pulled down. And again, stretch it up. And release down. And then just curl the shoulders to the front. Someone's pulling your arms forward. And onto the back. to the front, to the back, and then just circle through these directions. Up, back, down, and to the front. It's a full range of motion for the whole movement. And just reverse it forwards. We're really focusing on the shoulders, the movement in the shoulders, and feel the whole body is also involved in the movement. Okay, good. You do the same thing with the chest, so just cycle between opening the chest out, pulling it forward, and then coiling, curving it back, pressing the chest in. Really try and curl the back in this case. Yep. And then open it out. Coil it back. Really play with kind of coiling over the front. Open, closing. And this is a very kind of small movement, but really kind of a good movement. Let the chest come to the side, one side, and then the other side. And as much as you can, try and keep the lower body settled. Most of the movement's going to happen in the chest area, really the upper spine, the movement. Cycle a little between these two. And then just start to work with circles. So again, let the hips be kind of settled heavy. And really try and mobilize this chest. And just work it freely. You can go through one circle and another. Or you can just mix between the directions, depending on how the body feels. You might want to work one area more than the other. That's it. Good. Good. So we just go to this side to side movement now. Start to involve the whole body. Mostly now bringing in the movement of the hips. And you get an idea of the whole length of the body. It's two lines that run from the feet all the way up through the neck to the top of the head. Just really picture them mobilizing side to side. Also feel what's happening in the feet as you shift the weight from one foot to the other. Really start to get a feel for the weight of the body passing over the feet. Good. And if you want, just involve the hands a little bit in the movement. They can also kind of assist the direction as well. So if I have the hands out to the side, you can imagine the body's kind of following the arm like a kind of track. So imagine the body's getting kind of pulled along the line of the arm. So it helps just add a little bit of an extra element of kind of width through the movement. That's it. That's it. Good. And then the last one, just let the arm kind of swing out. So it's as if now that the arm's very heavy, rather than being kind of actively held out. So it's going to kind of swing down. Very light, heavy. And now just feel that you can kind of free the direction up a little bit. So imagine the arm's going to kind of, imagine a little bit like when you got it, if you got a paint can and you put a hole in the bottom and then you pour the paint over like this and kind of the paint kind of dribbles out. I've got a feeling like something's dribbling off the arm, like kind of water dribbling out. So just let the arm kind of swing out from the body, just a little bit. And we'll do this a little bit to the front, and you can also do this to the back. Maybe feel the arms quite light. That's it. Good. Good. That's it. Good. And just very lightly, just start to bring the feet into the ground fully. Just come into a rotation. Very light. And keep this feeling in the arms like they're very free. Shoulders nice and open. As if the whole feeling's drained out of the arm. Just bring now the focus to the hips and the lower body. Just let the upper body follow what's happening in the lower body. Good. Good. And just to loosen the arms off a little bit with the movement. Keep the same kind of movement. We're now going to kind of pass a figure of 8 move through the arm. So I usually find this easier, especially in the mornings. Just do this one-sided. So I keep one hand kind of on the center or on the hip, or wherever you like. And then just let the whole arm fluidly move through, kind of figure of 8 this way. And the key to this, really feel like the hand is connected to the hip. So keep the same feeling from this, and try and mobilize the arm a little bit into a figure of 8. This is now introducing a little bit, but the arm should feel a little bit heavier now. And not through tension, but just through the idea of passing a movement through it. Just there. That's that. Start to feel that the arm gets heavier and heavier, which is hopefully the kind of the connection's increasing. So the more heavier it feels, the more it's going to deepen the connection. Or the more you deepen the connection, the heavier the arm will feel. Just play a little bit with it. And the more you can kind of connect to it, start to play a little bit with kind of sending the arm out a little bit. It's going to kind of come up. You can come around. Also play a little bit with the back. Bit of a trickier connection, but just play a little bit with sending the arm out. That's it. That's it. Good. And then just change sides. Go to the other side. And again, just work your way into it. So start with quite small movements. Really feel that the arms following the hip. And just as you connect more and more, feel that you can open the movement out. And really, in this case, really listen to what's happening in the shoulder. Trying not to carry the arm with tension. Trying to just let it swing out. Drain the feeling down through your body. Good. And as you get more connected, just play with the arm a little bit more. Pull it out to the back. Bring it out. But always keep this kind of figure of 8 pattern, because this will prevent me from trying to hold the arm. So if the arm's always in motion, I've got less tendency to try and hold it in a position. That's it. Good. And then just so that you can unlock both arms now. Very light. Just let everything move now. So, just play a little bit with the arms now. You can kind of pass different movements through. But keep the focus still in the body, the hips. So really feel that the arms are just being played with. And they're not really the focus. That's it. And you can play a little bit like the arms move together or the hands move together. You can feel that the hands move kind of separately. That's it. You just play now a little bit with small movements. Small and then go to big. Small, go to big. So just cycle between a kind of quite a close feeling and then opening it out. What you want the feeling, this is really kind of connection extension work. You want the feeling that the extension, the connection is always working. So even it doesn't matter whether the arms are close to the body or far away. The feeling that the extension, the connection is always a little bit with opening, closing, move the body a little bit more. If you feel like it starts to move the feet a little bit, try and keep on the same spot, but just feel that you can a little bit open the feet up. So that's it. That's it. Good. Good. And the last one, just to really involve the arm, just loosen it up, totally loose. Play a little bit with these rotation movements. And again, you'll probably find this easier just to do one side. You feel that now the hips kind of connecting into the arm. This is much more dynamic now. You'll find much more this kind of connection. And play a little bit with the feet. You can also come out of the ground. And now what basically the real difference is, apart from being more dynamic, the arm's going to come into big circle movement. So before it's like this, the shoulders constantly down. And now the demand on the body is that the arm's going to kind of come up. And then the key to this is that as the arm comes up, the shoulder settles down. So the key always is this feeling draining down as you do it, especially when the arms come in kind of up high. Just feel a little bit like you can, again, keep the weight of the body. Feel now much more dynamic. You might find this easier. I kind of imagine kind of slapping movements with the hand. It gives me a kind of focus to the movement rather than it becoming kind of nothing happening. Try and feel like there's a kind of active motion now. To the back, to the front. This kind of movement. And then just change side. Just play, again, get the connection to the hip, connect, and just start to play with a little bit bigger. And just keep this idea of the feeling draining down, all the way into the feet. So that the arm's very active now. Again, the feet, the center, and the lower body are really the focus for the feeling. That's it. Okay, and then just play with both again. So just try and get the feeling. You can pass it through both. And again, you can keep the arms kind of together. You can imagine like a sword movement that we do this way. Or you can split the hands a little bit more difficult. Opening out. And really start to feel now that the lower body is very dense, very heavy, and the upper body and the arms have a kind of a light quality. And feel more and more as you do it, try and release more and more the shoulders. And get the shoulders quite loose. Feel that the hips are leading the movement. Good. Okay. So, good. Okay, and then we'll do a kind of, this is the same exercise, but it's just a little bit more formal. You put the feet in, shoulder width apart, hands up, and then you just drain down. So you come down, drain down. Just let everything drop down. The way the connection is now much simpler. Keep the same feeling, basically release through the shoulders. The weight of the body settle into the base. As if you're kind of impacting into the ground with the center. Just notice a few times you do it. Notice what's happening in the head. So you might find that there's a kind of increasing tension in the neck as you do the movement. Just feel you can extend, lengthen through the spine. And really use the upward swing to lengthen. And then maintain it as you come down. So don't lose the vertical, or don't lose the up of the vertical line to come down. Try and maintain a sense of length as you do it. That's it. Good, good, good. Just watch a few. Good. Okay, super. Nice. Good. Okay, good. Just a few more. Just when we do this, there's a tendency. It's kind of almost automatic to prioritize the swing down, and then the swing up's kind of, and then but really get a feel. This is later. This is kind of a cocky exercise, but really feel that the up's also kind of part of the connection. So really feel that the up is really quite heavy, and then from here, drop. So really, it's almost a feel. I have a feeling a little bit like I'm kind of picking something up. So it's like you collect it with the body and then draw it up. Now you've not got a sword, but the feeling is still something that's gathering up, and then dropping it. So I imagine like I've got a big ball in my hand, so I've got like a big yoga ball, and I imagine kind of picking it up with the center, bump, and then bam, slamming it into the ground. So it's got this feeling of bam, bam. You get this feeling now a little bit more like a kind of impact, percussive movement. So even though this is quite a light swing movement, you just get the feeling. It really relates to sword work. You've got the raise and the drop. Both parts of it are really, really crucial. That's it. Stop. Good. Okay, good. Next one. We go to this. We start kind of formal again. So still shoulder width apart, hands spread, and then you're just going to let the body drop into this position. And just do this for now, just in stages. So come to this position here. Release it out, drop it down, and just take a kind of 2-second pause, release it, 2 seconds here, and then release it. Just kind of, it's a bit like doing a kind of Kihon technique, so you come to the pause, just in those gaps, just feel where the body is, just feel the balance, and feel the weight, where it is in the feet. And each time just look for more and more balanced position, more connected, heavier. Yeah, let's take your time a little bit with it. And then just take out one pause. You're going to come up, drop. Pause here and then come up, drop. And then get the same kind of feeling that you've got from this upswing that we do here. That connection is very easy, but now you're doing it with a twisting move. So release it, drop it. Release it, drop it. So now it's got this kind of for me, it's got like this kind of bird flapping quality. It's got to kind of run down, up, down, up, down. And just use the pause now at the side, just to kind of, again, check the body, balance, and then drop it. Really try and find the middle of the base. So even though you're doing now a rotation movement, try and feel that the base again is kind of impacting down. Yeah, that's good. And now basically take the gaps out. So you can here drop it, here drop it, here drop it. And keep the sense of weight, heaviness. And again, keep the feeling that the body's constantly finding the middle of the posture. That's it. It's nice and fluid now. And although the kind of front hand, the focus, feel what's also happening in the back hand. Just kind of include the back in the movement. That's it. Good. And then this is a kind of freestyle one to finish. You do the same movements, exactly the same idea, but it's a little bit more dynamic now. And I'm going to do it from no position. So it's as if you're kind of like a gunslinger. You've got kind of the guns here, but the feeling's now that you connect the hip to the hand, and then just pass the movement out to the hand. But everything's now kind of dead. So I'm not going to come into a formal position. Just do it from nothing and then find a position. Just find a position. And try and feel more and more direct connection to the hip from the hand. So, play a little connection. And you can pass the hand anywhere. Just have the intention, it goes to the shoulder. And my intention goes to the ribs. Try and as much as you can do it with the whole body, not with the. Relax. So it should feel relaxed and totally heavy as well. Play with the connection a little bit. That's it. That's it, Adrian. Good. Yeah. Okay, and just in this bit, the focus tends to be on in a way, the kind of impact, the kind of the percussion onto the body. But really feel what happens after that happens. So, but a lot of the time this happens, and then I release it, and then I release it. Like, I'm exaggerating it, but have the sense that when you do this movement, it's totally dead. So it hits and then goes back. So really feel what happens after. We have a tendency, especially in our style, to kind of hold in positions and then release. Hold in position and then release. And then release. And even though we do that fast, we do it all the time. We do it all the time. So, but try and get something that's a bit more natural. It just goes. If you kind of struggle with this, the best way to do it is not raise the arms and go to the hip. Because the arms basically get down all the time. So if I just go to the hip, it will just kind of drop down. The problem's kind of raising. You tend to kind of carry it from the raise. Just listen to it. Just that's it. Nice. That's it. Very nice. Yeah. Good. The best way to train it, if you've got a partner, or you've got someone with you, just get them to basically hold your arm up and really feel that you can drop your arm into the grip, and then just get them to release it, and you'll feel the arm dropped into the body. This is the training because you basically got someone as a kind of support to do it. But what most of us do when we do these movements is to hold it at the top and then try and release it through the swing. So if you actually got someone to just hold it up, really, and just feel that it's going to kind of drop in down, and then you do the same. These kind of feeling is the same. I got to kind of pick the connection. But just do one more to finish. Just is basically working into this position this way, but just feel that the arms are now. Just play a little bit with the connection again. So it's the same idea. Feel that the key for this move is when the arms get to the side. Feel that the hips catch the arms. So it's as if as they track onto the hip catches the arm. Hip catches the arm and throws it forward. And the other one goes back. But just feel first this kind of connection here. Again, arms nice and heavy, but a much more complicated movement now. This. And the way you're splitting the body front and back. Just there. Let that happen. Once you feel that the hips are kind of catching the arms as they swing through, just start to increase the movement a little bit. Arms start to come up to kind of eye level. Increase the swing. Increase the swing. And just more and more, just start to bring the hands up now. And you're going to bring them basically to the center of the spine, or the center of the body. So they're just going to come up above the head now. And then let them drop. Head drop. Head drop. Head drop. And really feel that you can locate the arms right into the center of the spine. Feel the length of the body. And feel the draining down. Good. That's it. Okay, good. Okay. So I do these exercises a lot because they actually tell me a lot about how I'm using the body and how I move the body. So in this case, just watch as you raise up. Again, it's a matter about carrying the arm. What I don't want to do in this case is kind of lift them up. Because the problem with this is I can do it very, in a way, kind of athletically. So I can do, which is actually fine. But what it does, if you look at the body, it's actually pulling my body out this way. So really focus now on the body again, draining down. So the quality in the body, especially the shoulders, is down. Down. And this is especially important when I bring the arms up, that the feeling in the body needs to be draining down. This is especially important for Aikido because we use the ground to transmit the power. Now, if I'm bringing the arms up and taking myself out of the ground, I lessen my contact to the ground and I lessen my effectiveness. So just feel. And the best thing I can say is hands up, you down. You go hands up, you down. Hands up, you down. So the whole feeling all the time is saying low, low, low. Just a few more. And just try and. Yeah. That's it. Just a few. Good. Great. And then again, just play with this connection. Just let it settle down. So it's just going to swing through. And you're basically going to catch the movement at the top. So you've got this and then catch it. This, catch it. So there's kind of two catch points now. When the hands are at the side, this, and when the hands are at the top, this. So you've got, again, the hips responsible for the movement. See if you can catch these 2 points. This. That's it. Just play a little bit with the arms. And you can put the feeling in any part of the arm. Especially useful is kind of the elbow. Putting the feeling into the elbow, letting the elbows be heavy. Don't. This kind of feeling. That's it. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Nice. So great. Good. Okay, so just come up to the body, just shaking the hands out. Let the shoulders drain down. Shake. And shake the feet. And then just shake the hands this way. And kick the legs out a little bit. So if you're kind of shaking water off the foot. And then just slightly come to a full position. Free the shoulders. Just working circles. Good. Just start to bring the body back to a vertical. Feet fixed down in the ground. Just kind of where we started, but hopefully a little bit more dense. A little bit more relaxed. And just check in with the body. Just notice any parts of tension, maybe in the shoulders, maybe in the knees. Just see if you can basically release through it. And just feel more and more the body, the heaviness, relaxing into the ground. Try and feel the feeling extending through the feet, sinking through right into the ground. And just quiet the movement down, bring it a bit smaller, coming back to the center fully. And just stop when you feel. Yeah. Okay, good. So take bokken. We'll do some bokken work today. Okay, cool. So we'll spend a little bit just time just with the same shoulder width apart. And if you remember this exercise this way, this is really the same. So just do it to the back and just swing through. Now there's a really a focus to the movement. So you've got to feel now extending out and dropping to the ground. And just what we do in the swing, you kind of swing and then bounce up, swing and bounce up. In this case, just focus on the grounding down. So just let the whole body come up, through the back, through the shoulders, and then just run. Just drain it down to the ground. Just let it kind of settle into the ground. If you've got a soft floor, you can also bring the sword down to the ground fully. So just let it settle into the ground a little bit. What's it better? That's it. That's okay. Good. 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 And again, just note this is basically going from relaxing, connection, loosening work, and now you're going fully into extension work. So try and really feel that you're extending all your body through the sword, which is kind of something we talk about all the time, but we tend to do something like basically where my feeling's stopping in the hands. So really feel that this is why the way you grip the sword is very important. So I need the grip in a way to be very relaxed, but also very firm. What I don't want to happen in the sword is this. Watch this as I come out, where the sword's basically getting thrown out of the sword. Now the body will go into kind of catch mode, because if something's fallen out of your hand, it will automatically try and catch it, and that will induce tension into the body. So really feel that the grip you've got is very, very controlled, but it's actually quite light. So, and that means basically I'm not using tension, and I'm not using the sword's kind of loose. But really feel that you've got a sense that the hands really, really, really connect through the sword. And then there's a chance, if I've got a very secure grip, that I can pass feeling through the object. We do this all day actually. So when you take milk from the fridge, or you've got your mobile phone, or whatever you do, we actually connect all the time with stuff and extend into them. But it's just trying to make it a bit more conscious with the sword. Just try and really extend the feeling through it. That's it. That's it. Very nice. Yeah. Good. Very, very nice. That's it. Great. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, good. And just watch one thing. It's a bit of a habit, and especially in our style, that was a tendency that comes from the Hanmi and the first degree to do this, to kind of go push the sword out with the arms. Now, just kind of release that tendency to do it. So I basically need to just stop that happening. So, and the easiest way is actually this position, because it forces me to not do it. So just find this position. And now there's a big tendency to try and do it with the curve. So try and push it down to the ground. But just imagine, I do this a lot, but imagine you're just letting the sword do this. So the sword will naturally just do that. It's just going to arc through the movement. It will just arc through. Now, all I want to do is align to that movement, but I don't want to try and push it out, and that will happen. It basically does this. Now, as soon as I do that, the body gets thrown out, and then you basically hold yourself in tension. So really try and feel that you just let the sword drop through. So it's really about aligning to the arc in the sword, or of the sword, and getting the whole body behind it. But it's not about pushing it out and trying to find that kind of move. So just see if you can align a little bit more into the arc of the sword. That's it. And this is best. This exercise is best done with a really heavy bokken. Like Bernie's got a really heavy suburito. We've got run. So I'm forced to kind of align through the weight. Otherwise, I just go into weightlifting. So this is a really nice. Yeah. Exactly. Good. Okay, good. Again, we have to focus on the upswing. Go now. Down to the ground this way. Feel that you connect through the sword again, and the raise is going to be with the body. Now this is a pretty much because everything in your body wants that you do it with the arms. Lift with the arms. Lift with the arms. Really get a feeling that the center lifts the sword. So really get a sense that the center is connecting into it. This way, and then really feel the center drops down. Picks it up, drops it down. Picks it up, drops it down. Picks it up, drops it down. So just focus a little bit now on the on the raise from the ground. And you're actually in a really great position because everything's low. But the body will try and tell you pick it up with the arms. You've just got to kind of quiet tell the body no. Or tell the arms no. That's it. That's it. Very good. 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 Okay, so we'll just come more and more into the first burrito. Starting out in right hand. You're going to come back to the spine. And then all I want to do now is just place it. Just find this position here. Now, really look for a kind of horizontal. Oh, squeeze a bit in the way. Look for a kind of horizontal line through the sword. And then what I want you to do is just find a position and then again just let it drop. Let it drop through. Come back and just play a little bit now with this connection. So place the sword really on a horizontal plane, connected to the hip, and then just let it drop down. Just very quite subtle. Let the body now find a position with the sword, hips engaged, and then release it. Just play a little bit like that. And this is it, placing the sword on something in front of you, like a table or chair or something. And that's it. And once you find that position, just let it drop. That's it. Okay, good. So for me, the sword works. All the problem in the sword works is about settling, as well as arcs and all this kind of stuff. The real kind of problem in the sword work, or all the kind of Aikido work we do, is actually how to settle the body through the kind of dynamic movement. So this is a really useful exercise just for finding this kind of feeling of settled in the body. So really feel that the body's kind of draining down. And now I use this motion to check my degree of settledness or something like that. So it goes like this, and then if I'm not really settled, as I draw the sword back, the body will come back into being settled. So just notice that there's these two crucial points in this. One is when I place the sword, I want to really check whether the body's being pulled out or the center's kind of unstable. And when I drop it, try and really just feel what's happening in the full body. Just more and more get the feeling that the body's going to settle down through the movement. This is basically holding tension out in the back. So try and really get the sense that you're going to settle into the ground. And what you're looking for is really a sense of the center being very calm, which is not easy with the sword, which is what the sword's basically a teacher for, your ability to settle the body. That's it. Good. Okay, good. That's something interesting happens because if you think about it, your body's pretty lazy. So evolution has designed your body to be kind of lazy. You find a skill, you learn it, and then you forget about it. So everything you do, we go through this kind of pattern. So what the body does is very interesting if I kind of watch it. So when we do this kind of thing, now the body gets kind of lazy. I'm going to settle, and I just now do this with the body. So easy to settle, I go like this.
So this is one of the easiest, apart from lying down, the easiest position to settle is this way. So I just drop through the structure. So basically what happens is the body goes, I need to settle, so I do lazy. And I'm really calm. But the problem with the sword work is it's also a very dynamic movement. So I need to kind of join this dynamic movement. So this is the problem with the sword work, that I need to join into a movement and everything's pulling me out. So that quality of settledness is actually in motion. So just try and get a sense now that you're actually going to really join the movement with the whole body, which basically means I'm being in a way falling forward through it. Now the ability to ground through that is the kind of quality we're looking for. So, well, this is really the work. So just play a little bit now with, basically now work with 3 levels. Play with swinging through, play with placing, and then once you feel like it's kind of connected, come into a kind of full focus with the sword. Keep it quite light, but really feel as though now there's really a dynamic quality. And try and you need to challenge the body all the time to stop being lazy, because it will automatically go lazy. Especially mine does all the time. I'm talking about myself. My body automatically pulls back to lazy. So just look for something that's quite dynamic. That's it. Just play with these 3 levels. Okay, good. 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 That's it. That's it. Good. So I do a lot of this kind of work in a way. All the work I do is a way kind of to get away from the idea of the impact being the focus. So I really, in a way, I'm trying to get away from this kind of training. Bam, 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 because it's kind of repetitive and it's actually boring, and you're actually training the body in a way, kind of bad pattern over time. So, but well, it doesn't mean it's that the focus is not important. The focus is really important when you do it. So just have the feeling now you're going to come into focus. But really, the idea with the focus, or the way I train the focus, is really it's a reflection of what's happening in the rest of the body. So although the focus is really, really crucial, very, very important, what my focus is not in the sword, but it's actually in what's happening in the body. So the sword, just see the sword base as a reflection of what's happening in the body. Now, if the sword's doing things like this, these kind of things are basically just a reflection of what's happening in the rest of the body. So just go more and more now into a kind of focused practice here. Really watch what's happening in the sword. And see that as really a reflection. Use it as feedback on what's happening in the body, especially the hips, the center. And again, my ability to focus, settle the body at the same time. Really the kind of training in this case. Very good. Yeah. Good. Nice. So Lewis told me one time in Japan, there was a kind of joke. They were joking about the Iraq War, and they were calling the mother of all bombs and all this kind of thing. But Sag says he was joking that the first Suburi, he said the mother of all Suburi. So he basically and it basically means that the whole system comes out of this one movement. So all the way we structure the body through the whole system is actually built off this kind of movement, or this kind of principle of order in the body. So in this case, just watch one thing as you come back. And as you do the cut, try and, again, watch that it's not a kind of holding. So try and feel that the focus, the cut, is not in a sense holding something, but really feel that in a way it's a release through the whole structure. So if you think about whatever we do, if you think about techniques, that it's not about holding, it's about pressing power through and out. So if you, the best one for me is like a riminai. So I think about this. So it's got a kind of quality that it's a release through the ground, rather than a kind of coming position and holding, and then releasing. But just feel in this case that the first saburi, or the cut itself, has a quality of releasing out. So my best image for this is like a stone dropping into water. You've got the dong, boom, everything down, and then boom, ripples out. So you've got a real sense that some things impact, that percussion down, is also kind of rippled out through the cut. It's got this kind of quality, which is more of a feeling than a technique. So just try and get this sense. It's not a kind of holding. That's it. Good. And then just come now into Zengo. Okay? And just again, just focus now on the whole body. Releasing, fixing, releasing, fixing. But in that fix, also feel you're also boom, releasing. So this is the kind of paradox of the training. I've got a very active, focused movement. But I need the feelings I kind of pass. Release. Full focus cut. Try to get again a sense. Release. Nice. Okay, just try this up. This is the focus a little bit on the rotation. We tend to be a bit kind of, in a way, again, it's kind of lazy. So there's a way either I kind of, and then become active, or I kind of do too active and carry it through. So this is a movement just to elongate that motion. What I want to do, just do it in 2 moves. So you do the back this way. And then what I want to do is roll from the back leg through, underneath, and finally. This is, if you think about it, this is like a Shibanai movement. And just take a pause in between. So you're going to do 1 first saburi, and then let the whole back of the body come in, and rotate through the movement this way. And really make this now as long as, and it's very dynamic, so it fits. And then cutting down. Okay, so if you get kind of lost with this, just go to the feeling like you've got in Shibanai, passing through and then rotating to the back. Passing through, rotating to the back this way. Now the key part of this is the pass through and the rotation, but not the cut actually. Just the cut will follow naturally, but just do this in 2. So you've got a 1, 2 motion. And by elongate it, you'll also kind of you will make the problem bigger, and you will make it more obvious what happens with the body. So just what happens. And again, this comes back to the central problem, which is about how do I raise the sword and drain the feeling at the same time. So the same thing happens now. I can raise the sword by raising the body up. But what I'll find now in the rotation is it will pull the body out. Now, if I'm doing that and rotating, the body will just go through and out. So really feel that as you pass through this motion, the feeling's draining down through the body. So feel that the raise of the sword is actually caused by the body sinking down. It feels kind of counterintuitive, but I can raise the sword from the top, or I can raise it from the bottom underneath. But just feel in this case, it's like you're passing through this way. Passing through underneath the sword. This. So just break the movement down a little bit as well. And just focus on this rotation underneath. And this is a pretty tricky movement to do well, but it's actually a really, really nice movement if I can catch it in the hip. That's good. Okay, last minute or so, what I'm going to do is introduce now a slice to it. So don't worry about how you slice or where you slice. Just focus on basically slicing the body out this way. And then what I want you to do is pass the whole body through the movement. This, and then find a cut. Okay? And you can do this both sides. You might find it easier just to do the right side, but you can do this both on the left side as well. But just find one slice, and then keep the same basic practice. I take the whole back side of the body through, rotate to the back, and then cut down. This way. So just play a little bit with this. Take a position, do a little bit freely, slice out, and then roll the whole body through. This way. A little bit with it. This way. And you can do this in an infinite number of angles. Just always the pattern's the same. A slice, through rotation, and a cut. There we go. Okay, last 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Just bring it all together now. So you're going to go through this way. So now just a little bit more dynamic and less focus on the strikes. This. And again, what I'm actually going back to this kind of loosening quality through the body. So a little bit where we start. This. I'm trying to do it as relaxed as I can. Keep it nice and slow. And also feel free to just drop the sword through the movements. The important thing is coming back to the body, back to the center. There we go, good. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Just the last couple of movements, do it fluid, but do it slow. So slow as you can. Just run through this motion. Whatever pattern you're doing, just if you can slow it down a little bit. That's it. And just get more and more slow, slow, slow. Real slow, heavy, connected. That's it, very nice. Very good. Okay, great. So we'll stop there. Bang out. はい。どうもありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.